From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story, Eielson Air Force Base was placed on emergency lockdown this morning. An active shooter was reported to Air Force personnel at approximately 11:30 a.m.
The report came from the 168th Air Refueling Wing facility where first responders arrived on scene to assess the situation. The base, including schools and all buildings, were temporarily locked down for safety. First responders determined the situation to be a false alarm due to the testing of a public address system. However, the nature of the false alarm is still being investigated.
It was reported that a potential active shooter was on the base, and that was actually determined to be a false alarm by our first responders who arrived on the scene. During a lockdown, we actually have processes in place to make sure that all personnel are safe. They are advised to lock down in their current area, making sure that no actions such as cell phone usage or making noises, and this prevents them from being a victim in an active shooting.
The largest health insurer in Alaska has sent cancellation notices to more than half its individual members in the state because their existing policies don't meet requirements of the federal health care law. Melanie Kuhn is a spokeswoman for Primera Blue Cross Blue Shield. She says of the more than 9,000 individual members in Alaska, less than 3,800 were on grandfathered plans. Those are plans that were in existence before March 23rd of 2010 and have changed very little. Kuhn says cancellation notices have gone to about 5,360 other members who will be matched to new plans that are closest to what they had before. She says members will be enrolled in those plans if they do not act by March 31st. She says Primera sees this as a consumer protection.
The state has begun to review a 1997 Fairbanks murder case that led to the convictions of 4 Fairbanks Native men. The review comes after the Alaska Innocence Project filed new information in September about the convictions of the so-called Fairbanks 4 in the death of Jonathan Hartman. Senator Lisa Murkowski today contacted United States Attorney General Eric Holder to bring the Alaska review of the Fairbanks 4 case to his attention. The State Department of Law had said that it, quote, remains confident that all 4 convictions were properly obtained based upon the evidence presented at the trials, end quote. Murkowski said that statement raised questions within the Alaska Native community on whether the state can and will objectively investigate its past conduct.
I will say that when the statement came out that they were confident that everything was properly obtained, it does cause you to just pause for a second there. I want our State Department of Law to do exactly as they have agreed, which is to review the evidence fully and in a very timely manner.
The new snow and moderate temperatures made for slippery roads today. Ice covered long stretches of road and snow melted at intersections. Fairbanks police were busy on the Richardson Highway this morning responding to car accidents, cars in ditches, and other accidents involving injuries. Police asked the public to plan extra travel time and slow down while driving. And remember, it is okay to drive slower than a speed limit.
Well, it's the beginning of the season. You know, it's our first big snow, and the temperatures are warm enough to where things have really glazed over. So if you haven't gotten your studded tires on yet, please do so. Make sure your cars are nice and winterized, that you have safety equipment in your vehicles, and that you're just taking those added precautions that you need to take this time of the year to get there safely.
All right, when we come back, Alaska Airlines has made a change to check-in times.
Also, don't forget to set your clocks back. We'll tell you another important thing to add to your list this Sunday. Those stories are next. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. Alaska Airlines has changed its check-in policy for flights. The minimum check-in for domestic flights has been changed from 30 minutes prior to 40 minutes prior to takeoff. They say this change is for all passengers regardless of if they are checking luggage or not. The airline said in a release that although the boarding policy does remain the same, the check-in time was revised to avoid confusion. The new policy will make the check-in time the same for everyone, which will make it a more simple process for passengers to remember the cutoff time.
Well, it's that time of year again. The first snow has officially flown, and it's the annual daylight savings time. Sunday, November 3rd is the day we set our clocks back 1 hour. At 2 a.m., clocks will need to be set back to 1 a.m. unless you have a clock or phone that will automatically change the time for you, or you could show up at school or work an hour early on Monday. This time of year is also a great time to ensure the safety of your home by updating batteries and smoke detectors and regular safety maintenance.
It's a way for us to remember to go over there and change your battery in your smoke alarm. A lot of times, people forget about it because it's out of sight, out of mind, and so we're using the change your clock to go over and remind people to change the battery in their smoke alarms. People need to understand that smoke is a drug. A lot of people say, well, I can smell smoke, I don't need to worry about it and stuff. But unfortunately, particularly when we're sleeping, as we breathe it in, the toxics in smoke will actually make us go further and further asleep to a point to where we can't react. And so having that smoke alarm gives us that early notification.
A major exercise between the U.S. and Canada was conducted recently near Fort Greely. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has that story.
The search and rescue exercise increases the interoperability between U.S. and Canada, ensuring that they can carry out their mission to conduct search and rescue operations in the Arctic and surrounding areas. The exercise was a simulated crash of a plane. The first step is getting the pararescue medics on scene to take care of the injured.
So extremely important that we have, once we get the PJs and the SARTECs in, extremely important that we have both U.S. Army and Canadian Army would come in with major disaster equipment to get these folks out of the environment, keep them warm, keep them stabilized, so we can get some helicopters up here to start flying these folks down south.
Conducting the exercises means when a real emergency occurs, they can come together knowing how both sides work.
Our relationship with the Canadians has been phenomenal, and this is also a partnership between the SAR players, the search and rescue players have worked together for many years, and it's conducted we conduct a range of search and rescue, anywhere from routine search and rescue through mass rescue operations to catastrophic incident search and rescue. And this is just one other method where we're able to practice our partnerships and improve them.
Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
Crews at Denali National Park in Alaska have cleared a landslide from a road that is a major tourist destination each summer. The landslide, discovered last week, covered 200 feet of the Denali Park Road with rock and soil. Crews finished clearing the road at day's end on Monday. Park officials say it's not clear if instability of the terrain will affect visitors next summer. Park spokeswoman Maureen Galtieri says the road 37 miles from the park entrance appears intact. An estimated 30,000 yards of debris fell from 500 feet above the road. Galtieri says the debris was pushed downslope off of the road. She says the road and slide area will be assessed next spring before it opens to traffic.
The Indian Festival of Lights, or Diwali, starts tomorrow, but there aren't many tickets left to celebrate at UAF. Rather than traveling to New Delhi, the Namaste Indian Student Chapter will conveniently host a festival in the Wood Center Ballroom. That's tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. For many in the Hindu community, Diwali is the beginning of a new year and a time to reflect on last year. Tickets are $15 for ages 10 and over, and the group will donate $2 from every ticket sold to United Way, the Tanana Valley. There are only 12 tickets left at the Wood Center Information Desk.
The important thing this year's Diwali celebration in Fairbanks is we are celebrating exactly on the occasion of Diwali back in India and throughout the world. So it happens rarely in Fairbanks. So tomorrow, November 2nd, is the Diwali celebrations back in India and throughout the world, and we are in Fairbanks celebrating it.
Okay, well, Joe Cook is coming up next in sports, and he has all you need to know about the weekend ahead.
He also has some volleyball scores, and Joe talks about a high school athlete who is the best at what he does in the entire 49th state. Find out what it is next.
Hello, Interior Alaska. I'm Joe Cook. Hope you're having a good Friday. So let's get your weekend started right with some sports. We start with the high school athlete who is the best in the state in a sport you may not be familiar with, diving. Last night were the Region 6 Championship prelims at the Hammy Pool. There were 4 divers participating, 3 from West Valley and 1 from Lathrop. West Valley junior Sabrina Nichols posted a 168.8 in last night's prelims for girls. The Wolfpack's Emily Shipman, a senior, bested her teammate with a 204.4. Shipman has been diving for 2 years and studied abroad in Italy a year ago. She currently is 9th in the state. Freshman Trey Curtis is also a member of the Wolfpack, and put up a 164 in his first regional prelim. But the top dog is Lathrop Malamute Zachary Campbell. The junior is ranked first in the state and put up a 297.9 at last night's prelims. He's even done some gymnastics as well. Luke Jones of Ketchikan is his closest comp right now, 3 points behind in the state standings. Campbell has been diving for 3 years, all with Region 6 diving coach Kara Nash, who has been the region diving coach for 6 years. Nash is a former diver from the University of Rochester. The divers will have 3 more dives this Saturday in the championship round, doing well at stake, and winning is the ultimate goal, but Campbell takes it a dive at a time and is coming off a big win at the Valley Invitational. He credits his coach for his #1 ranking.
I don't know, just a lot of practice and listening to my coach. Everything she tells me, got to do it, and that's really helped improve. And she's a great coach, and that's helped a lot.
He's pretty confident about his diving, more so than I get nervous, and he never gets nervous. He just, competes, and he knows he can do it. So I love his attitude with everything he's doing.
It's going to be really exciting, but I'm just trying to not think about it too much, just kind of stay where I'm at, see how it goes, and then see where everybody's scores are from around the state, and then just see how I do, I guess.
And now volleyball from UAF. The Nanoks had a chance to force a 5th set, but the Western Oregon Wolves rallied for a 4-set match victory. Alaska won a 3rd set and was up 21-20 in the 4th, but the Wolves got 4 straight blocks and a Nanok error to win the match. Carrie Knight had a game-high 16 kills, hitting at 41%. Sam Hartoon at 14, and Samantha Hesterman had a new career high in digs with 18 for the redshirt sophomore. The Nanoks go to St. Martin's to take on the Saints tomorrow at 6. And in high school volleyball, the Monroe Rams went on the road and got it done. The Rams swept the Sitka Wolves 25-8, 25-15, 25-22. Marissa King had 20 kills to lead Monroe. Jackie Lemons had 20 digs on the defensive side. Next, the Rams play Sitka again, then face Mount Edgecombe in a doubleheader on Saturday. The Mount Edgecombe Braves won the 3A state title last year. Monroe, 14-1 overall, will be the #1 seed in the Aurora Conference Tournament next week at Owlson. And now let's look at the weekend sporting events for the interior. In the morning, the UAF swim team will continue their dual meet against Loyola Marymount at 9:30 a.m. at the Patterson Pool for day 2 of competition. The meet actually starts tonight. The high school volleyball season ends this weekend. Owlson hosts Valdez at 11:30 a.m. Then Lathrop goes to West Valley for a match at noon. You can get your first look at the Nanook women's basketball team on Saturday at 3 p.m. in the Patty Center for the alumni game. The Region 6 diving and swimming championships conclude on Saturday night at 6 p.m. at the Hammy Pool. And the nightcap, the Nanooks play the Northern Michigan Wildcats on Saturday night for Game 2 of their series at 7 o'clock. Not too much debate about this one. Here's this week's Play of the Week from Monday's I-5, the interior top 5 plays. The Nanook hockey team orchestrates a masterful comeback from 3 goals down to score 4 unanswered, started by J.D. Pearson's goal, then capped by the play of Colton Beck to Cody Kunick for the game winner. Beck and Kunick scored 3 of the 4 unanswered Nanook goals in their 5-4 comeback victory over the Mercyhurst Lakers in the Patty Center Arena last Friday night. The duo combined on the shorthanded power play and even strength goals. That was their 3rd straight come from behind victory. Sporting the throwbacks and all to select the Play of the Week. Watch Monday's weekend recap and look for the I-5. Go to the KT11 Sports YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter pages and let your voice be heard. And that'll do it for Sports at 6, but come back tonight for the Sports Nightcap for Nanook hockey highlights and more. Catch us on YouTube, Twitter, and webcenter11.com. Stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again. Big thanks to Igor helping out last night. He told me some bad news this morning, though he's moving out of state, so we may not see him again, unfortunately. But thanks anyway. Here's our photograph for tonight. This one's sent in by Bill Cody, a small bull moose, as you can see here. A nice photograph there. This was taken on the 12th of October, and that's the last one we're going to see for a while. And as far as what's going on at the airport right now, 25 degrees, our high today 28 degrees, low last night 23. Record high 46, 1970, 30 below in 1907. Sunrise and sunset 7 hours and 41 minutes, a loss of 6.5 minutes from yesterday. And our satellite picture, we looking at a few scattered showers south of the Alaska Range. A little bit of activity to the north north of the Fairbanks area, but not too much going on there. And across the rest of the state, here's what it looks like. As you can see, we're looking at cloudy skies over southeast Alaska, over south central sections, a little rain along the Aleutian chain, cool temperatures up in the north slope at Barrow, and 25 degrees at Fort Yukon. Lower 48 weather tonight, still very nice out to the west. A lot of sunshine over the Texas area, partly cloudy skies around the central plains, more partly cloudy skies up and down the eastern seaboard. On our satellite radar, one frontal system moving out of the picture, another one coming in with this next area of low pressure dropping down across the Canadian border, all being driven by the jet stream, as you can see here early next week. A lot of cold air expected to dive way down to the south, bringing some very winter-like conditions across much of the northwestern part of the country, while mild temperatures will continue across the deep south. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. For the northern sections, cloudy skies in Barrow and Nome. That's a few scattered clouds in the Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, not too bad in the Fairbanks area, partly cloudy skies, but winds will be increasing around the Healy and Delta Junction area. Could be gusting in the passes up to 50 miles an hour. Over southeast Alaska, for the most part, just a few scattered clouds here and there, and temperatures not too bad, 46 at Ketchikan. Well, out to the southwest, rain and snow at Bethel and widespread rain for Cold Bay and Kodiak Island. And over the south central regions, well, we're looking at cloudy skies in Anchorage with afternoon rain developing in the Homer area, and it'll be raining all day long around the Valdez area. Okay, it's a Friday night, and it's time for our first edition of our Winter Trails Report, brought to you by the good folks at Beaver Sports. We're not expecting any more accumulating snow this weekend, but we could see some moving back into the picture by the early part of next week. Otherwise, any outdoor activities are going to be reduced to a minimum, at least winter activities. And again, thanks to Beaver Sports. So here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. 10 degrees, the overnight low, dropping down. And just a few snow showers are still possible. Tomorrow's forecast, not too bad. 26 degrees for the high, partly cloudy skies early. And the 5-day outlook, again, looking at temperatures, trying to rebound a little bit by Monday with maybe it's a chance of snow once again for Monday and Tuesday. And then temperatures really starting to take a serious dive down to the colder regimes. In fact, overnight lows once again dropping down to around 10 degrees above for, or 10 degrees above for the overnight low Wednesday night and Thursday night.
You know, it's starting to drop down there, huh?
Well, and you know, one thing, those roads are very slick in spots.
They are,
and tonight,
definitely.
the temperature falling down like a rock, it's gonna make them really dangerous. So be very
Any
very
Saturday
safe
activities,
tonight.
take your time.
A lot of things happening tomorrow too.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, at the Pioneer Park and another festivity going on. So just.
You know, I don't know
Take
about
time.
you guys though, but I know snow is here and it is sticking to the ground. So I'd rather it be a few inches so I can get out my skis and enjoy it.
I'd really be a few inches just so you can get a good traction on the surface.
Yeah.
And also insulate the pipes. Daryl and I have been talking about that before. We need to get a good dusting, a good layer, I should say, to keep the pipes from getting that cold air to
Oh,
work
is
its way
that what
down
you were
there.
talking about the other night?
Yeah.
See, because I didn't Oh, okay. I didn't know
If
that.
you have a
learn
septic
something
system,
new
it's a
every day.
little nerve-wracking this time of year.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Mike. And that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, the latest on the deadly shooting that happened at the Los Angeles International Airport. That's coming up next with Brian Williams.
And as always, a reminder, join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
Okay, from all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Good night.
Good night.